Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you so much for stopping by. My people, matters are rising. We are still on Mr. Dele Farotimi matter. So today, the Federal High Court in Ekiti State granted Dele Farotimi 50 million naira bail adjourned cybercrime trial to January 29. And Nigerians have been reacting concerning how they handcuffed Dele Farotimi while in the court. According to Chidi Odikalo, he said the EFCC operative escorted Yayo Bello, honorable, amidst multi-millionaire fraud, but Dele Farotimi is handcuffed by correctional service over defamation, and the Showore said Nigeria is a paradise for criminals and hell for patriotic citizens. And this is the country we all find ourselves, where criminals are celebrated and even call them the most powerful men, while the innocent citizens who are fighting for a better country, for a better Nigeria, are treated like criminals in their own country. What a country. Like, I don't know where we are heading, honestly. The whole thing is so traumatizing, so heartbreaking as well as sad. But I love what is happening right now, because this particular Dele Farotimi case is really opening a lot of things. Let me allow you guys to listen and hear what Mayego have to say concerning this new development of Dele Farotimi being granted bail with 50 million naira. It is so crazy, honestly.
So the updates from the Ekiti illegal court that is helping the affair Babanla Ole's alleged defamation case against Dele Farotimi has granted Dele Farotimi a 50 million naira bail today for a non-existence crime. And that is where we are going to start this afternoon or this morning. Please share this broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the oppressors are making more and more mistakes. And as they are also helping to justify the content in the book written by Dele Farotimi, the Nigeria criminal justice system. Now, so Nigeria and its criminal justice system. I got my copy this afternoon. Well, it is worth reading, brethren. Last week, Dele Farotimi was kidnapped from his office in Lagos. His staff were assaulted, were slapped by criminal police officers sent from Ekiti State to Lagos. And this was like after 7 months of the publication of this book. After Babanla Ole and the judicial establishment in Nigeria somehow just woke up last week to what they called the destructive content published by Dele Farotimi. A lot of people who never knew about this book, because of this action, they have prompted them to go and get themselves a copy. In fact, it has become the bestseller book on Amazon, or any book at all being sold, even in Nigeria as we speak. Tens of thousands of it has been ordered by different people all over the world, including Mayegun General on this platform. Defamation is not a crime or a criminal offense. It is a civil case. It should never have involved the Nigerian police. But when they kidnapped Dele Farotimi in Lagos and then smuggled him to Ekiti, the Ronukus were happy that finally, yes, finally, they have gotten him. In fact, they were looking forward to seeing him being jailed on what we now call not prosecution, but persecution. But Dele Farotimi was pretty much like ahead of them. He told us what was cooking, what they planned to do, how they planned to execute this evil agenda of theirs of shutting him up. But they were late. Like I said, he already alerted us. And just exactly the way he projected them, he prophesied, is exactly where they have been acting. Afe Babanlaole, a roguish criminal lawyer, is not like a criminal lawyer, like the lawyer that is fighting crime. No. He's a criminal that is also a lawyer. It has been shielded for so long. And because of this singular act of abducting, kidnapping Dele Farotimi in Lagos, has prompted a lot of us to start digging and digging deep on who is Afe Babalola. And it is not just Afe Babalola. Now, if you have heard about Ironi Kwekun, the guy who stood in for Tifnumbu, that defended the druggie during the tribunal and then the presidential tribunal cases up to the Supreme Court. These are a bunch of criminals who are parading themselves as lawyers. There have been those who have paid millions of dollars, not naira, millions of dollars in bribes to Nigerian judges. They have them on their fingertips. They controlled what happened in Nigeria judiciary, who gets what and when and why. So because of this, they are revered. They are called revered legal luminaries, but they are a bunch of criminals. So Dele Farotimi, who encountered a few of them, decided to tell the generation yet unborn, just in case when they are born, they will no longer be deceived that their heroes past. I mean, these criminals are heroes in the past. They are not heroes. They are a bunch of criminals who have been hibernating in the corrupt judicial system of Nigeria. The reason why the criminal politicians in Nigeria have been able to escape justice is no other reason than the likes of Ironi Kwekun, the likes of Afe Babanlaole, and many like them. Some of them are dead. Some of them are still alive. In fact, they pride themselves as the father of justice in Nigeria, but they are actually the fathers of injustice, corruption, malfeasance, oppression in Nigeria, lawlessness. You see, the lawlessness that Nigeria represents today, the Nigerian society, there are those who are the shapers of that. And Afe Babanlaole, a 95-year-old legal criminal, is like at the top of the food chain. So when Dele Farotimi wrote this book, a lot of people who got the book at the earliest stage, they were worried for him. You sure that you are not going to cut a bigger problem like this? You are a lawyer. And nothing that Dele Farotimi wrote in his book that a typical lawyer in Nigeria is not aware of. The shadiness, the corruption in Nigerian judiciary. There is no practicing lawyer in Nigeria that does not know it. There is no lawyer in Nigeria. But some of them are acting brand new. They are quoting non-existing laws of defamation, libel. Now, if anybody defames you, it is not a police case to start with, except if it affects the establishment. Defamation is not a criminal offense in Nigeria. In fact, if for any reason anyone is convicted of a defamation and they are to be imprisoned, their imprisonment is under 2 years or under 3 years, between 6 months and 2.5 years. That is to tell you that most of it is usually about fine. They will tell you to go and pay fine. But these guys knows that. They were supposed to be legal luminaries. They didn't pursue this issue on a legal front. Rather, the oppressive system, which after Babanlaole himself at some point condemned. How many of you remember when the Nigerian Daura Secret Service, DSS, invaded the judges' quarters and arrested them, accused them of corruption, that they found tens of thousands of dollars, pounds in their safes, in their homes. Afe Babanlaole was one of those who was like, this was an attack on the judiciary. How could you go in there? Like, if you have any allegation against them, the right thing to do is to invite them. This is the state versus this was the Bokwari versus Nigerian judges. So, and it was the preparation for 2019 so that they could know how to remove all the judges that they felt like will not work for Bokwari's planned rigging in 2019. So this man condemned that. But in 2024, he used the same police to kidnap a fellow lawyer. Some of these guys are calling him our father, kill you there. A rogue that has been fingered in manipulating judgments for criminal politicians, governors, senators, even presidents in Nigeria, says that this book has ruined his reputation. But the reputation built on lies, reputation built on falsehood, reputation built on corruption, reputation built on impunity. That is not reputation. That is a crime hidden for so long. And thank God he lived long enough to see this so fake reputation shattered to pieces. So Afe Babalaole is a coward, a rogue, a rogue that is so afraid of his own shadow that he had to hide behind the police. At first, Ekiti police that kidnapped Dele Farotimi, they took Dele Farotimi to magistrate court to prosecute a criminal case against a supposed federal criminal case against somebody who doesn't live in Ekiti state. In Ekiti state that doesn't have any law against defamation to start with. So they realized so late, because they had to do it so horribly. They realized that this was a mistake. So they called Abuja. That was when Igbetokun, the police IG, dabbled straight into it. And he didn't jump into it by himself. Now, this is where it became very much interesting. Tifnumbu and his gang, they have been looking for ways to get Dele Farotimi for so long. But when the opportunity now presented itself to them, these dullards, these lawless rogues, what did they do? They decided to turn defamation to cyber stalking, cyber bullying, cyber crime. And they have no correlation. Or just because they felt like, you know what? Afe Babalaole is a coward hiding somewhere in Ibadan or somewhere in Ekiti. That a lawyer that has been a lawyer for 60 years, according to them, but he's so afraid of a young lawyer who has only been practicing law for less than 30 years. Half of the time he's been a lawyer himself, working for criminals in Nigeria, shielding them from law, shaping the whole legal system, judiciary of Nigeria to be for the highest bidder, like you have it today, right? So he's hiding somewhere, writing press releases, but not bold enough to sue Dele Farotimi directly. So the police IG now took over the case by accusing Dele Farotimi of harassing Afe Babalola, cyber stalking Afe Babalola. And this too is a sham. However, last week, the Ekiti Magistrate Court said Dele Farotimi should be remanded in prison until the 10th of December, which is tomorrow. But the police IG's own is now a federal case in Ekiti, Federal High Court, right? But that was supposed to happen today. So eventually, they put up police, not Afe Babalola versus Dele Farotimi, but police IG versus Dele Farotimi. Police IG. This has nothing to do with the police, though. But because Nigeria is a corrupt system that Dele Farotimi wrote about, so which justifies that. But in order to these power-drunk criminals in position of authority in Nigeria to feel good about themselves, look at what they did. They put cuffs in the hands of Dele Farotimi. They handcuffed him, bringing him to court. But the same criminals in Nigeria who once brought this guy, this looter on the right, Yeye Bello, this guy stole 110 billion naira from Ekiti State But it looks like he's the one who took the EFCC to court. Look at him, flexing, because that is what Nigeria represents. The man on the left is Dele Farotimi, the man that exposed the corrupt judiciary of Nigeria, is in handcuffs. So that tells you all you need to know. So what then happened? The police IG versus Dele Farotimi in Ekiti Federal High Court today. They finally agreed that Dele Farotimi should be granted bail on defamation case. It's not even defamation now. It is harassment, cyberbullying, cyber stalking of a private individual. This is not a government agent. Afe Babanlaole is not in government too. This is not Afe Babanlaole versus Dele Farotimi. This is police IG as a police institution against the private citizen on what was supposed to be the disagreement or so between two private citizens. But we get the message, we do. So what did their judge say? They said that Dele Farotimi, who has committed no crime, no single crime, is to go and pay 50 million naira. Not just that. They said that his surety must also pay 50 million naira. In fact, I have the list of what they said must be paid for Dele Farotimi to be freed or on bail. They have adjourned their own case. That is the federal one now, police IG. Having realized that the magistrate's case is no case, is useless. And it's just going to be a matter of time before everybody will realize this abuse of power. So they shifted it to the federal. So Dele Farotimi was supposed to still be in prison till tomorrow, but they had to bring him out today. With these conditions, as his bail condition, is to pay 50 million naira, right? As a bail bond. Then one surety. That surety must be a resident in Ekiti. That surety must have 3 years tax clearance. That surety, must have a built-up property within Ekiti. That person must have property built in Ekiti. The surety is to deposit title deed. That is the title deed of his property in Ekiti. He must submit it to the registrar of the courts. They say that the surety must present 4 recent passport photographs. And also, the surety must present 4 pictures while standing. Yeah, he must take a selfie. No, is that selfie? He must take a full picture of himself, 4, and submit 4 passport photographs. 4 full picture of the surety must be submitted to the registrar. Dele Farotimi must submit his international passport to the registrar of the court. Of the courts. These are the conditions given. Did Farotimi see this coming? Of course he did. And during the time of signing his book to those who the first edition of the book early this year, this year, Dele Farotimi said to the hearing of everybody,
I am conscious of exactly what kind of country I live in. But it used to be my belief that as crazy as we might be, that there is still something that must undergird our system. And that is the sanctity of law. I used to believe that even if the High Court judges maybe a few might be corrupt, and I knew a few who were. Maybe 1 or 2 Court of Appeal justices might be amenable to pressure, but I never believed that an entire system would be subverted in pursuance of narrow interest until 2013. But I'll let the book speak for itself. But it is of critical importance that this book be written, and I will explain why. I worry about the society that we have built, that we are building, and that we are likely to bequeath to the next generation. I have tried my best to be faithful to the truth. I have allowed the truth to be the sole bridle for my pen, and I have written believing in the complete truthfulness of each and every word that I have put in that book. But the truth needs to be told. So what I have done for my children. I have done for my conscience. I have done my own bit. Let them do their own bit. Hopefully, they find the grace to adhere to the rule of law. Thank you very much. I am conscious of exactly what
DF, Dele Farotimi. And on that note, we shall we? We shall read the content that triggered the establishment in Nigeria. 7 months after the publication of the book. 4 months after Dele Farotimi spoke about the book. And right now, the entire system says this book has destroyed Afe Babanla Ole's reputation. This book has destroyed the reputation of the Nigerian judiciary. But as we all know, there is no lawyer in Nigeria that would dispute the content of this book. There is no lawyer in Nigeria because they do know how corrupt the judiciary is in Nigeria. Ordinary folks knows how corrupt the judiciary is in Nigeria. Now, if they suddenly just turn around and feel like somebody writing about it comprehensively is defaming them, they shouldn't use the police. They are lawyers. They are yabi. The right thing is to what? It is their terrain. It is their turf. It's the right thing to do is what? To sue him. And he already challenged them. Sue me. Do not use the police and all that like you normally do to oppress, because you control the system in a way. And so those of you who are a little bit worried or angry that Dele Farotimi was cuffed by these criminals, don't worry. They have actually put more credence to Dele Farotimi's book. That's what they have done. It is obvious. How can you handcuff somebody for defamation? You are not handcuffing thieves. You are not handcuffing terrorists. You did not handcuff the treasury looters. You handcuff somebody, you claim to have defamed somebody. That tells it all.